Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. There is never any chance in Allah's plan. If you are watching this video today, your heart is already receiving something, a signal, a call, a direction. You feel that some things in your life are not just coincidences. Sometimes you sense truths before they even happen. And maybe deep down, you've already asked yourself, why me? Why do I feel these things? Why do I see signs that others don't see? This is not an illusion. It's not imagination. It's a spiritual gift that only some receive. And these, in the Quran and the Sunnah, are called the elected officials, al-mukhlasun, those whom Allah has chosen, purified, guided, and placed under His light. The elected officials are not the most popular. They aren't always the ones who shout the loudest or show off to everyone. But these are those whose heart is connected to truth, even in silence. They are those who sense things before they become visible, who perceive the danger or mercy to come, not because they are special in themselves, but because they are close to Him who knows all. The Prophet Muhammad said, "Fear the clairvoyance of the believer, for he sees with the light of Allah." Tirmidhi. This hadith does not speak of a superpower. He talks about the basira, this inner vision that only a pure heart can receive, a heart that has been cleansed of impurities, of grudges, of pride, a heart that listens more than it speaks. In this video, we will delve into this deep truth, why Allah grants certain people the ability to feel things before they happen, how this manifests itself, and above all, how you too can cultivate this intimate relationship with your Lord to open your heart to His light. This journey does not depend on your status, your wealth, or your intelligence. It depends only on the sincerity of your heart. Are you ready to purify it to hear Allah more clearly? So stay with me and let your soul listen. There comes a time in life when you feel things before they are visible. You feel that a person is not sincere, even if everyone applauds them. You sense that a situation is going to change, even though nothing indicates it yet. You wake up with a heavy heart for no apparent reason. Then, shortly after, a difficulty arises in your life or that of a loved one. Is it instinct? Number? It's an interior light may Allah grant to certain souls. This kind of feeling is not given to everyone. It is about the purified fitra, this original nature that every human being possesses, but which, in some, is cleansed to the point of becoming sensitive to what the eyes do not see and what the ears do not hear. The Prophet said, "When my servant continues to draw closer to me through supererogatory works, I love him, and when I love him, I become the hearing with which he hears, the sight with which he sees." Bukhari. This means that the heart becomes a receiver refined, an antenna that captures divine guidance. It is not magic, nor a mystical gift, but the result of a sincere closeness to Allah. And when you begin to feel this, you realize that your emotions become signs, that your intuition is purified by the constant reminder of Allah, and that your silence is often deeper than 1,000 words. One of the strong signs of this sensitivity is your attachment to dhikr. You feel better when you say words like Astaghfirullah, La ilaha illa Allah, or Hasbiya Allah. These words are not just a refuge, they become your emotional balance. Another sign, you feel uneasy in certain environments, even if everything seems normal on the outside. You can no longer tolerate certain useless conversations or certain gatherings where Allah is absent. Your soul pushes you to flee what is meaningless. It's a form of divine protection. And if you cry without knowing why, if you feel the need to walk away sometimes for no logical reason, it may be because Allah is preparing your heart to receive something greater. Remember, these signs are not an end in themselves.
They are an invitation to move further towards the light. So don't ignore them, cultivate them, and above all, never let them go out. These are rare gifts which show that Allah has already placed you among those whom He gently but surely calls to Himself. It is no coincidence that you feel more deeply if you perceive upcoming energies, intentions, or changes before they clearly manifest. In reality, it is because Allah, in His wisdom, selects certain souls for particular missions. And to accomplish these missions, He gives them an awakened heart, a finer spiritual sensitivity, and a unique ability to capture the invisible. Allah says in the Quran, "It is not the eyes that are blind, but it is the hearts in the breasts that are blind." Surat Al-Hajj 22:46. When your heart is not blind, it sees what others do not know. He feels the warnings, he senses the blessings, he detects the light in a simple word, or the darkness in a subtle act. This is the rahmah of Allah upon you. He guides you by feelings, by intuitions that others consider to be coincidences, but that you know to be signs. Why does Allah do this? Because you have been chosen. Not because you are better than others, but because your heart has responded to His call. You may have cried alone in the night. You may have called on Allah when no one knew what you were going through, and Allah saw this sincerity. He saw that pain transformed into submission. He saw this solitude become a place of connection with Him. And then He offered you a unique sensitivity. Not so that you are proud, but so that you protect your faith, so that you are a benchmark, so that you can alert the others, so that you are a silent guardian of the light, even when everything around seems to be darkening. Elected officials are not necessarily known, popular, or applauded. They often live in the shadows, but their hearts are filled with light. And this light does not come from outside. It comes from a strong connection with Allah. A relationship built in trials, consolidated by prayer, purified by patience. What you feel is not weakness, it is a divine force. Don't neglect it. Don't look down on her. For Allah gives this to those He loves, to those who are ready to follow Him, even when everyone turns their back on the truth. Keep that light alive. You may be the sign that Allah sends to someone else. Being among Allah's chosen ones is not living a life free from pain. On the contrary, those whom Allah loves most are often those whom He feels most deeply. It is not a punishment, but a purification. It is a way for Allah to make you grow, to elevate you, and to bring you closer to Him. If you feel inner torment, invisible conflicts, tears that no one understands, then know that you are not alone. The elected officials feel more than the others. They see injustices in the small details. They hear what is left unsaid. They are affected by pains that others ignore. And this sensitivity, when not well understood, can become a heavy burden to bear. You sometimes feel isolated, even surrounded. You have a heart that is agitated by things that the world trivializes. But in truth, it is Allah who refines your soul. The Prophet Muhammad said, "When Allah wants good for His servant, He tests him." Sahih al-Bukhari. These struggles are therefore not curses, but spiritual transformation workshops. Through them, Allah teaches you patience, endurance, noble silence. He removes your attachments to material things, to ephemeral illusions, so that your heart clings only to Him. You will notice that the more you grow in your faith, the more the struggles change. These are no longer necessarily visible trials, but inner battles. Understand your role, manage your emotions, face doubt, stay upright even when everything in you is screaming to give up. These are the signs that you are on the way, that your heart is alive. But listen to this. Allah will never abandon you. He surrounds you with angels even when you think you are fighting alone.
He hears every breath you hold, and He prepares for you an opening, a peace, an appeasement that no one can take away from you. Never doubt your worth because you struggle. On the contrary, know that each tear shed in sincerity elevates you to Allah. And it's precisely this kind of discreet fight that makes you special in His eyes. The world may never understand your silence, but Allah reads everything your heart does not dare to say. Have you ever felt like something was going to happen? Without proof, without explanation, but with a strange certainty in your heart? This is called spiritual intuition. And among the elect, this intuition is refined, subtle, but powerful. It is not simply a random feeling, but a sign of a deep connection between your soul and your Lord. Allah, in His mercy, guides the sincere hearts by unseen means. Sometimes this guidance comes in the form of a presentiment, a striking dream, a sudden calm in the tumult, or an inexplicable inner unease. It is your soul, awakened by proximity to Allah, which reacts to what the eye does not yet see. It's not magic. It is not a supernatural power. It is the fruit of inner purification. The Prophet Muhammad said, "Fear the clairvoyance of the believer, for he sees with the light of Allah." Tirmidhi. This powerful hadith clearly shows that the closer you are to Allah, the more you see with a light that only He grants. Not everyone sees danger coming before it hits. Not everyone feels the sincerity of a soul even before it speaks. But you, if you are one of those whom Allah has chosen, your heart becomes like a polished mirror. It captures the subtle truths that others ignore. But be careful. This intuition can only exist in a pure heart. It is through adoration, sincere prayer, repeated invocations, tears shed in the night, that this heart becomes sensitive to divine guidance. It is the taqwa, the loving fear of Allah, which refines this perception. The more humbly you walk on the path of Allah, the more He makes you sensitive to His will. So, this ability to sense things before they happen is not a personal pride, but a sacred responsibility. She calls you to be vigilant, to pray more, to advise those who are lost, to avoid dangerous paths. It is not you who see, it is Allah who allows you to see. And remember, Allah does not give this light to everyone. If you have it, preserve it, feed it, be grateful, and above all, use it to do good, because the more you use it wisely, the more Allah increases your clarity. Many people live without ever feeling the subtle signs of Allah. They miss warnings, opportunities, or even blessings without ever being aware of it. For what? Why do some hearts perceive the invisible while others remain blinded? This is a deep question, and the answer lies in divine wisdom and the state of the human heart. Allah says in the Quran, "It is not the eyes that are blind, but it is the hearts that are in the breasts that are blind." Surat Al-Hajj 22:46. This verse is shocking. He shows us that spiritual blindness is not linked to the eyes, but to the condition of the heart. When a heart is filled with pride, with worldly distractions, with unrepented sins, it becomes like a closed room without light. Even if a bright sign is right in front, this heart does not see it, does not feel it. He is cloaked in the fog of neglect, and Allah in His justice do not force a closed heart to receive the light. He offers it to those who sincerely seek it, to those who purify themselves, to those who abandon their toxic habits, to those who get up at night to invoke Him when everyone else is asleep. They are not elites by blood or wealth. They are chosen by the heart, by effort, by repentance. The Prophet taught us that there is a piece of flesh in the body, which if it is healthy, the whole body is healthy, and if it is corrupted, the whole body is corrupted. It's about the heart. Sahih al-Bukhari. This is why not everyone feels these things. This is no coincidence. This is not an injustice. It's a question of interior preparation. Allah knows who is ready. He knows who takes His sign seriously. He knows who sincerely seeks to know Him, to approach Him, and to purify their intentions. But the good news is that this light can be requested, it can be invoked, it can be worked on. It is not reserved for a mysterious elite. It is offered to any sincere person who wants to wake up. So, if you feel that you are sometimes lost, insensitive, or far from this spiritual sensitivity, do not despair. Come back. Make your heart available. Give up what takes you away from clarity. Because Allah is ready to give you this light, if you are ready to welcome it. If you want to hear Allah clearly, feel His signs before they arrive, and walk with a deep awareness of His presence. Then you must prepare your heart as one prepares the ground before sowing. A heart that captures the signs of Allah is a heart worked, polished, disciplined, and at peace. And good news, this heart can be cultivated little by little with sincerity. First start with strengthen your connection with prayer, salat. Salat is not just a ritual, it is a moment of intimacy with your Creator. Each prayer is a light, a cleansing of the soul. The more you apply yourself to praying with concentration, the more lively and receptive your heart becomes. Do not neglect any prayer, even when you are tired, even when you are stressed. It is precisely in these moments that your heart learns to rise above the world. Add to that the supplication of A. Speak to Allah often in your words. Tell Him how you feel. Ask Him to make you more sensitive to His signs. Tell Him that you want to hear clearly, understand His messages. Allah always responds to those who sincerely call on Him. Even if you don't see the effects immediately, your heart is changing. Afterwards, surround yourself with silence and reflection. The tumult of the world fills our minds with noise. To hear, sometimes you have to be silent. Get away from networks and screens for a while and sit in a quiet place. Read the Quran in a low voice. Listen to your heartbeat. Meditate. Because it is in these moments of tranquility that the signs appear. Don't underestimate the power of charity. Even a small act, a smile, a gentle word, a peace given discreetly, purifies your heart. The Prophet taught us that charity extinguishes sins like water extinguishes fire, and a purified heart better captures the subtleties of the invisible world. Finally, cultivate patience and gratitude. Allah's signs don't always come when you want, but he who waits with confidence, who thanks Allah even in the face of trial, ends up seeing what others do not know. Remember, it's not your intelligence that perceives the signs, it's your heart. And you can train this heart like a muscle. Be consistent, be sincere, and above all, be patient. Because the more you advance on this path, the more Allah will open the doors of understanding for you, and you will see what others do not see. If you have made it this far, know that it is not by chance. Allah guided you to this message for a very specific reason. You are one of those He wants to bring closer, awaken, purify. All of the signs we have shared today are not just informational. They are a calling, a reminder that you are elected and that this election is not a passive privilege. It is a responsibility, a divine invitation to listen, to feel, to act. The chosen ones feel things before they happen because their hearts are connected to heaven, because they live with an awakened conscience, because they have agreed to detach themselves from the noise of this world to hear the subtle voice of Allah. And you too can reach this level by putting into practice what you have heard. Remember these powerful signs: sensitivity to the invisible, dreams that guide, intense feelings about certain people or places, sudden inner peace, tears for no apparent reason, and the need for isolation to pray and reflect. These are not coincidences. These are sky codes placed in your heart. So don't just stand there and do nothing. Start nourishing this light within you today. Give yourself moments of silence. Stay away from what hardens your heart. Come back to Salat with more love and presence. And above all, ask Allah with tears if necessary. Ya Rab, let me be among your chosen ones. Make me understand your signs. Make my heart pure and sincere, capable of hearing your word without veil. O Allah, we ask you on this blessed day to bless all those who listen to this message. Purify their hearts, elevate their souls, open to them the doors of your light. Fill them with your love, your wisdom, your forgiveness, and your guidance. Grant them the ability to feel you, to understand you, and to walk on the straight path, far from the illusions of this world. If this message touched your heart, subscribe to this channel. It's not just a YouTube channel. It's a space for sincere hearts, for souls who seek the truth, for those who want to hear Allah clearly. And share this video with others, because maybe through you, Allah will touch yet another heart. May the peace of Allah be upon you and your loved ones, today and forever.